Namaste and welcome back to your mat. Today's class will be a perfect wind down to bridge the gap between your workday and the rest of your evening. A block will be helpful, but if you don't, you can always find an empty wall that you can lay your legs against. We'll take a breath in to start, reach the arms overhead, and fold down to the mat. Ragdoll. Then step your feet into a downward facing dog. Relaxing the heart between the arms. Take very slow pedals of the legs, tuning into the sensations around the hips. Bend one knee and then the other. Take a few cleansing breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Focus on letting go and releasing your workday. Step your right foot to the top of your mat in between your hands. Give yourself a little bit of movement to let the hips adjust in the joints, stretching out the muscles that perhaps have been tensed and constricted throughout your day. Now begin to roll onto the left edge of your foot at the bottom of your mat. Reach the right arm down as you heel toe the right foot in line with the hip. This is a deep stretch for the IT band. And you can pike up the hips here, reaching the arm over the head, feeling a stretch into the right side body. You have the option to come into Wild Thing if you would like, dropping the toes back behind you and maybe circling the right arm. We'll close down into a plank pose and then up into a downward facing dog. Pedal out through the right leg, tap out the toes. When you're ready, you can step the left foot between the hands, taking your time as you enter your lunge, swaying from side to side, finding strength in the thighs and the shoulders. Bring the gaze forward, maybe sinking deeper into the hips. And then we'll find that IT band stretch. Start to roll onto the knife edge of the back foot as you simultaneously slide the left foot in line with the hip. Reach your left arm down the leg. Gaze comes to the bottom of your mat. Take a deep breath in and reach the left arm overhead, piking up through the hips. Press down through the left foot. Gently releasing the hips back into one long line. You can stay here or you can come into Wild Thing, flipping the left toes behind you and opening your heart to the sky. This might stretch and release a lot of negative tension and energy that's built up into the body. Make your way into your downward facing dog. Walk your hands to the feet and the feet to the hands, coming into ragdoll pose. And you can let the arms dangle heavy, letting the head and shoulders relax. Maybe grabbing onto opposite elbows, swaying from side to side, nodding the head yes, shaking it no. As the back body relaxes, really focus on letting go of your energy from your workday. It doesn't matter, it doesn't serve you to continue thinking about it as you move into the rest of your evening. Allow yourself to be present and enjoy each moment. Take a soft bend into the knees and gradually roll yourself up to stand, letting the head be the last to rise. Roll your shoulders up to the ears and then slide them down your back, maybe lifting your gaze to the sky. Find your breath. You can gently sway from side to side, shifting your weight between your feet. releasing tension from the hips. Find stillness and sweep the arms up high overhead. Open the heart and swan dive forward. Beautiful job. Planting down your hands, pick up onto the tippy toes, lifting the heels. Bring your knees into the chest. A little squat here. Then drop the heels, come into a seat. Hug your knees into your chest. And then extend your feet towards the sides of your mat. So not quite dragonfly pose with the legs fully extended, but not quite tadasana with the legs together. A block may be very helpful under the knees here if you are experiencing any tension or pressure in the low back. You can bring your hands to your shins, maybe reaching for the feet. Focus on opening the back body. You might not feel it too much in the hamstrings, but pull the shoulder blades apart. See if you can feel the muscles between each rib expanding and releasing pressure. At the same time, notice if you're white knuckling through your fingers and see if you can soften the body. Gently lift the gaze forward, maybe straightening through the spine a little bit here. And then releasing any grip that you have, start to roll yourself up. Bring the legs together and slide your hips down your mat. Sun worshiper pose. Bring your hands behind you. Open the heart, let the head fall back. Feel a release through the front of the throat. Step your feet down to the ground and come into a cross-legged position. And plant your hands at the top of your mat, bringing your knees behind each wrist, having them wider or at least as wide as the mat. Now bring your hands behind you or just stacking your shoulders on top of your hips. If this is too intense on the knees, you can sit your hips up onto a block. And if that doesn't help, then you can extend your legs back once more for sun worshiper pose. If you don't feel much of a stretch, you can lean back onto the forearms, making sure that the knees don't pick up off of the mat. Another great heart opener option is to bring the block underneath the shoulder blades or the shoulders. We'll be here for a few more breaths. If you are reclined all the way down, begin to lift yourself up, coming onto the forearms, then up onto the palms, bringing shoulders on top of your hips. Plant the hands in front of you. Round through the spine, bring your chin to your chest. When you're ready, you can swing your legs out to one side and make your way onto your back body, bringing your block along with you. Stepping your feet down to the mat, relax the shoulders. I also like to add a little extra support under the head, so you can feel free to either bring a pillow or you can roll the top of your mat down, adding some extra cushion. Press down through your feet and slide the block underneath your sacrum. Right away, lowering the hips down, you'll notice a pressure on the low back. Releasing pressure, relaxing the nervous system, Allow yourself to enjoy this pose. You can stay here if this feels really good on the low back, or you can gently pull your knees in towards the chest, maybe supporting them with your palms, or you can relax the knees all the way down, letting them float above you. Stay here, or you can try to extend the legs up to the sky for waterfall pose. If you do not have a block, you can also take this pose by pressing your feet up against the wall and your hips as close to the wall as you can get them, allowing the blood to drain from the toes and the legs. If you have a really solid block and you just can't seem to get comfortable, one trick that I like to do is to place my fingers underneath the edge of the block that's furthest away from you, making a tilt that will bring the block in line with the rest of your body. Allow yourself to relax here, finding your breath, finding your peace. Feel free to stay and linger here for as long as you need. And when you're ready, you can drop your feet down to the mat, pick up the hips to remove the block, and setting it off to the side. Give yourself a moment here in constructive rest pose. And when you're ready, rolling over onto the side body and press yourself up into a seat. We'll close off our practice with a final breath together. Inhale, reach the fingers up high, palms will touch. And exhale, bring hands down to heart. The light in me sees, acknowledges, and honors the light in you and knows that they are the same. Namaste.